is somewhere out there.
Okay, so I am going to record a music album in the forest. Normally you go into a studio, you use soundproof walls and you record instruments bit by bit to keep everything nice and clean, I guess. But I'm doing something a little bit different with this. We're going to take the studio out into nature. We're going to keep it nice and stripped back. It's just going to be me, the guitar, and the woods. We have our trusty guitar, we have our trusty tent, we have our trusty tripod. I'm going to just see how inspiration strikes when I'm out here. I'm going to see what I'm able to take from nature and imbibe into these songs. I've gotten away from society and I've gotten away from humanity, gotten away from the rat race of it all. I've gone to the forests deep in the Wicklow Hills, trying to escape everything. With all the pandemic stuff going on, it's kind of nice to be able to get away from everything. I'm just going to fully embrace this experience, and for the next few days, I'm just going to let whatever happens happen. Alright. Let's do this. Focus. Focus. And walk. Oh, there's a lot more uphill to this than I thought. So I'm gonna find some nice secluded spots for all this, away from towns and away from traffic, away from power lines. We're just gonna go back to basics with this one. Keep going until we find our spot we're gonna camp in for the night. Fuck. Okay. You know what? I think I might have come far enough. Here is good. It's kind of easier to remember. We're on the borderline here. It's memorable because of a tree. Yeah, I think we have our campsite. Alrighty, that is the tent done. Not too bad a job. It's not the flattest of surfaces, but if I stay with my head near the door, it's fine. I don't really roll downhill. It's kind of like, just at a nice angle. So I think that'll work. I am noticing that I did not bring the spikes to tie the ropes down, but I think that'll be alright. What am I doing? Tent is secure, all the bits are put inside, so if it rains we're okay. Got my recording gear, got my guitar. I think it is time to go make some music. Rolling there. The only sound here is the sound of the birds, and it is beautiful. I'm about 20-25 minutes from the camp, about 2 kilometers maybe. It's nice. I think this is the right spot for the first song. I've got a very good idea what I want to do with it. I haven't quite honed in on it, but I'm just hoping that the energy from the forest is going to really kind of guide it to what it has to be. Found a nice bird's feather. I think that might be a good omen. We'll put that into there. First song. First song, take 2. Okay, so I just listened back to the first recording, and it's there's a lot of positives. I would say the vocals lack a little bit of the finesse that I kind of maybe I was expecting, but that's okay. This is an experiment. What I'm thinking now is that why don't I just use this setting, the forest, to get the musical side right, get the instrument side right, the guitar right, and we'll worry about the lyrics later. Yeah, it's we know what we're doing now, and that is good. That is a good thing. Yeah. Jesus. Taking the gear around it's a lot harder than it looks. Come on. Time to start getting set for nighttime. Well, here I am. Night 1. When I was young, the one thing I really wanted to be was a rock star. Like, I would spend hours every day after school playing music. The results from today were varied, but we'll see what we get on tomorrow, huh? Right now I am here in my tent. Got my sleeping bag. Got the nice little pouch here for my phone. I'm about ready to get some shut-eye if I can. To be honest, the floor is not quite as comfortable as I thought it might be, but that's alright. Yeah. Day 1 of the big adventure, huh? Guess some good things can come out of lockdowns. Good night. There's something outside. Hear that? It's about 3 a.m.-ish. It's like a dog or something. was a shit night's sleep, but here we are. It's about 8 o'clock. Let's get some of that nice fresh air. Oh, my neck is sore. I'm just out of the tent. Everything looks alright around after last night. Whatever the animal was knocking onto it didn't do any damage, but left this weird little mound here. Kind of looks like it's scooped together. That's it right there. My tent. Hope that's not just a big shite it's taken and covered up. Huh? What? What the fuck? I thought this thing was supposed to be easy to find. Hold on. Oh, that is cool. That was worth it. Take two. It's just over here. This is strange. I think it's there. It's there. There isn't actually any breeze, so I don't know how it's making that noise. See? No breeze. No breeze. Where's that blowing through? Breeze coming through here. What is that? Hello? Hello? What? This is an old cassette player. It was jammed in behind those rocks. It's a bit suspect given I found a tape outside my tent this morning. Hello? Hello? what this used to be used for. What's that? No. What the fuck?
Okay, it is February 7th, 1992. I am Sarah Emerson. I am a student of history at Trinity College in Devlin, and I'm here in the woods to see if I can find any information on this urban legend that everyone's been telling me about. It's the legend of a weeping man or a moaning man. This guy was accused by the British government of harbouring terrorists, so IRA, Irish Republic Army, and helping to plot terrorist activities like bombings and stuff like that. He denied, but they wouldn't take no for an answer, so they hung him from his favourite tree. Supposedly it took about 5 days for him to die. He died seeing his dog murdered in front of him. After he passed, the British government tried to seize his land, but the majority of the people that they sent to the land didn't come back, and the ones that did reported hearing a weeping man or moaning man and a dog barking. So that's why I'm here. I am going to camp out for a few days, and I'm going to figure out if this urban legend is actually real. See if this weeping man can find me out here in this forest. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be great. So I've made it to what I think is part of the old property, but there's a church. I've heard nothing, no spooky ghost noises, no weeping, no dog barking, no nothing. But the story behind the legend, that is definitely true. Now, there's some things that we can't know, but what we do know is that the guy who lived here was called Neil O'Byrne. He was a really quiet man and was just secluded after his wife died. I couldn't find anything about how she died. I've also found pages from like a journal of somebody else that came to study this. These notes must be 20, 30 years old, and they were jammed under some rocks inside the church. I can barely read it, but it gives a lot of insight into what they were doing. The one big difference between all of the stories that I've heard and the notes that I found is that day 5 is when things start to happen. You start to hear things at night. So, I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to see if anything happens. Is that a dog?
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of that one. Whoa. It's funny she mentions dogs, and there's some dogs barking off in the distance. Okay, I'm not too sure why someone would put some old tapes like out here for me to find. I mean, it's interesting. Like the story she's talking about there, it's vaguely familiar to me. I remember when I was in primary school, you'd have the older kids telling people stories of the moaning man. I didn't realize it was this forest. I thought it was like a forest or two over or whatever, if you're not too familiar, like lots of forest trees around Wicklow in Ireland. Whose dogs are that? So I guess that brings us to Sarah, who I'm guessing is a student who is kind of doing a paper on the realities behind these stories. I'm not too sure why these tapes were left here for me to find, or who did it. I mean, maybe someone's watching me right now. It's bird. Can't imagine that if they were going to do something while I was unaware of anything in the tent would probably be the way to go. So I'm not going to mind too much for the moment. Might be famous last words. But what we are going to do is we're going to remember why we're here. I'm going to take the guitar back up. I'm going to get back on the trails, well, off trails, and we're going to go make some music. Oh. God. Better not be a fucking psychopath out there.
Over the years, then, this legend has grown, and there have been lots of reports of people going missing in the woods, but when you track those reports down and investigate them a little further, it's either a friend of a friend or a friend of that person's friend, and they don't really know them very well, but everyone had the same experience. But then how would they know that everyone had the same experience if they all went missing? So there is that. Also, it's quite unlikely that it was the British authorities that killed him, but more likely British loyalists. There have been reports of tension in the area when Mr. O'Byrne built this church. It was used by local Catholics as a safe space for them to come and practice their religion. O'Byrne's death certificate lists a suicide under cause of death, which is just horrendous. Now, the locals obviously know that that's not true, that he was in fact lynched, but the suicide was put on there to protect whoever actually murdered him. And it doesn't really feel right that, the takeaway is there's a big scary ghost kidnapping people in the forest, and not the fact that this man was murdered on his property and his dog was murdered. Just absolutely revolting.
Alright, well, there's all the tapes from today. Bit of a weird day for things. Music went a little bit better, but I guess it's all been really kind of overshadowed by these tapes showing up. I mean, I'm definitely in two minds about all of it. It's strange, that's for sure. Someone is probably following me and leaving these. In all likelihood, it's very probable that, whoever is on this tape is one of these people who is pranking me, possibly. One side of me definitely thinks that that's a very strong option. The other side of me definitely feels quite sympathetic to the idea that something is going on with this woman, and well, went on with this woman. It's a little late now to do something. When I get back, I'll definitely be looking into it to see what the story is. If other information hasn't come to light by then, if someone hasn't jumped out of the bush and gone surprise and plastered my face all over TikTok or something. Yeah, it's strange, but I'm glad I have the camera here, so anything that's going on, my perspective is on it, as well as if anyone's following me, if they're getting their side of things. I'm not a huge fan of the idea of someone following me while I'm doing my things out here. I mean, when you're out here in the forest alone, it's kind of creepy. You know, I don't know which is worse sometimes, being alone or not being alone. But listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm out here to record this music, to make this little record, and that is what I'm going to do. You know, during this lockdown, it's been very intense on a lot of people, and you know, people can be on top of each other a little bit and get on each other's nerves and all. So I'm going to take my chance now, take my time now, away from the house, my partner, the 5k, all this kind of thing, and I'm going to do this. I said I was going to do it. Again and again, I insisted I was going to do this, and I'm doing this. These tapes, they are what they are. They're a side part of what's going on. They're not why I'm out here. I'm out here to do this. This is the time to do this. No other time. So I am doing this. Alright. It is time to get to sleep. So, good night. Things back. Weird. Morning 3. And that was a shit night's sleep. If I thought the night before was shit, that night was one brilliant. Do we have... Oh, and as should come as a shock to nobody, there is a new pile. Alright. I am sick and tired of the dewy morning air at this point. And there is another tape. I guess we're gonna have a listen.
I just had a dog barking. I can't see anything. It's right by the tent. I'm sure I heard a dog. There's more pages. Someone's left them here. I think I'm being followed. I can't do anything, it's too dark. I can't see anything. I don't want to go too far from the tent.
What do I say? I have some big choices to make.
Say O'Byrne was known to be very selective about who was on his land. There had been possibilities that he'd set his dog on a British loyalist who'd accidentally crossed over the property boundary.
Hello? Hello? Sounds like dogs. I don't see anyone. Sounds like someone's following me. Maybe whoever had the dogs. I don't know.
Hello? Who's there?
I feel like someone's watching me, like someone's chasing me. And every bone in my body is telling me I should go home. I'm probably an idiot for not following that instinct, huh? There's something kind of unique going on here, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Every drop of rain on a leaf sounds like someone stepping near the tent. Sounds like someone crying. Hello? 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 Hello?
Are you alright? Hello?